Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're zeroing in on what many find the toughest part of the marketing funnel. The middle, the MOF. If you're working in this area, you know it's more than just like nurturing. It's really where that initial spark of interest either turns into real commitment or, well, fizzles out. So our mission today is to unpack some really effective strategies for this middle of the funnel stage. We've got insights from various sources looking at, MOF marketing tactics and also the huge role social media plays in connecting. We'll explore how these things link up to actually move people towards becoming, well, loyal customers. Because getting attention, that's just step one. The real game is what you do next. That's the opportunity. Okay, so let's dive in. The middle of the funnel, we're talking about that point where someone's aware, they've shown some interest, maybe clicked around a bit, but they haven't actually bought anything yet. Why is this stage so critical?
That's exactly it. And I think what often gets missed is that this MOF stage isn't just passive nurturing. The customer here is actively thinking, comparing, looking for reasons to actually trust you. It's less a waiting room and more an evaluation zone. Yeah. This is where you really build that trust, answer the hard questions, and shift the dynamic from just curiosity to hopefully commitment. It's high stakes.
Okay, building trust, answering questions.
Yeah.
So how do we do that effectively? What are the main tools our sources point to? The first one that comes up a lot is content marketing. But it's not just churning out blog posts, is it?
No, not at all. And actually, what's interesting is how effective content marketing acts almost like a filter in the MOF. Think about Les Mills. They put out these really high quality, sometimes quite demanding workout videos and educational stuff. If you're engaging deeply with that, you've basically shown you're more serious than someone just browsing.
So the content itself helps qualify the audience.
Precisely. It pre-qualifies them. So when Les Mills follows up, they know they're talking to someone who's already invested time and effort. It makes everything else more efficient because the interest level is proven.
Right. Okay, so you've got their attention, maybe even pre-qualified them with great content.
Yeah.
How do you stay on their radar without being annoying? Retargeting seems key here, based on a reading. Like that song you hear once and can't get out of your head.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. A persistent, but hopefully not intrusive reminder. Retargeting works because you're tapping into interest that's already there. You saw something, you liked it. You're not just shouting into the void. You're talking to someone who raised their hand, metaphorically speaking. Les Mills does this well, too. Visited the site, watched a video. You might see an ad later.
Just keeping the brand visible during that decision-making window.
Exactly. Hey, remember us. We're here when you're ready.
Okay, and for maybe a more direct approach in the MOF, email marketing still holds strong, right?
Yep.
Especially segmented email.
Absolutely. But the key with email in the MOF, the real nuance, is making it feel genuinely personal, not just mail merged. Les Mills, again, they don't just blast everyone. They look at your goals, the workouts you like, what you've clicked on, and send emails that actually match that.
So it feels relevant.
Right. It feels like a conversation tailored to you, which naturally keeps you more engaged and nudges you closer to deciding, okay, yeah, this is for me.
These direct tactics are clearly vital, but stepping back, looking at the bigger picture, billions of people are on social media. How does that massive landscape connect with nurturing leads in the middle of the funnel? Especially, with almost 90% of 18 to 29-year-olds using it.
Well, what's really fascinating and kind of a fundamental shift is how power now sits with individuals, with creators. They build these communities, these loyal followings. Often their influence is way stronger than traditional advertising. And that's why brands are pouring money into social media, not just ads, but building genuine presence. It's where the people are, and it's often where trust can be built more organically.
Okay, so if you're trying to build that kind of loyal audience, whether you're a person or a brand, our sources talk about a kind of three-phase journey. It maps out how you go from starting out to being like a known voice.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Phase one is really about laying the groundwork. Understanding the platform Instagram is different from TikTok, right? Mm. Creating broader content initially to see what sticks and really digging into the data. Who's responding? For the MOF, this is key because it helps you spot those early signals of real interest. Who's actually leaning in, not just scrolling past.
Right, learning your audience. And then phase two, that seems to be about getting more control.
Exactly. Phase two is where you start refining things. Your tone of voice, getting the timing right for posts, really honing the quality. It's about moving from just putting stuff out there to communicating effectively and building a recognizable identity, making it yours.
And phase three sounds potentially tricky. Managing emotions, criticism, praise.
It can be, yeah. Because as you grow, you'll get both trolls and superfans, often very publicly. Phase 3 is about navigating that. It's not just about having thick skin, but about understanding that engagement, even negative comments, can be an opportunity. How do you handle criticism constructively? How do you amplify praise to build community? It's finding that balance, being responsive, but not letting every comment derail you. That builds incredible trust when done well.
And a brand that seems to have navigated all this incredibly well is Lululemon. They come up as a great example of using social media to really support those MOF goals.
Oh, definitely. Lululemon just got their audience early on. Their content wasn't just buy our pants. It was about mindfulness, fitness, well-being, things that resonated deeply with the people they wanted to reach. It felt authentic because it aligned with their core values. They were selling a lifestyle, a feeling, as much as apparel.
And they were brilliant with user-generated content, weren't they? Making the community feel like the star. How did they make that work so well? What's the secret sauce there?
That's a great point. It's tough balance. I think their genius was in celebrating their community, not just using them. They tapped into those shared values, wellness, aspiration, activity, and showcased real people living them. So when you engaged, it felt like joining something, belonging. And that feeling directly fuels the trust and connection that MOF strategies need. It creates this loop. See the community, aspire to it, engage with the brand, become part of the community. It reinforces the commitment.
Wow, yeah. You can really see how it all connects. The content, the retargeting, the email, all boosted by this authentic community building on social. It's all driving towards that conversion and hopefully loyalty.
Exactly. It highlights that the MOF isn't just a passive waiting game. It requires active, thoughtful strategies. Combining these approaches, like Liz Mills and Lululemon do in their own ways, is what really drives conversions and builds that lasting customer base. It makes you wonder, how deeply are businesses really thinking about that whole journey?
Definitely food for thought. So, wrapping up this deep dive, we've seen the power of really understanding that middle of the funnel, using targeted content, smart retargeting, personalized email, and layering on genuine social media connection.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. We frame this around marketing, around funnels and conversions. But these core ideas, really understanding who you're talking to, offering something of value, building real connections. They're not just business tactics. They're fundamental to building any strong relationship or community. Think about your own audience, maybe your colleagues, your friends, your family. How could applying some of these principles of connection and value help you build deeper relationships there too?